Hello and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. My name is Joris and today I'm finally here with the update for July of 2025. I know I'm a bit late, but I was on vacation with my family, visiting my side of the family in Belgium and visiting the family of my wife in Belgium. So we had a lot to celebrate there, and one of the things that we needed to celebrate was that we reached the level of 3,000 Swiss francs in dividends per year. So we are really happy that we reached that level of dividends per year, and our portfolio value also went up like crazy in July. So now we have a portfolio value of 67,220.24 Swiss francs. And I'm late to the party, but I wrote down everything like usual on the 25th of July. So this video, it's a bit late, but it contains just the same information as usual. And as usual, I start with the dividends that we received in July. Then what we bought in July. So at the end of July, I bought XYLF for our portfolio. And halfway July, I bought FLXD. Like announced, I did that with the money that we received as a dividend from SDGPEX. And what I'm going to buy in August is going to be VHYL, because we are around 8% in our portfolio and it needs to move up to 10. And then still it's going to need more and more money put into it, because SDGPX needs to come down, of course. And then I'm going to discuss the value of our ETF portfolio, our predicted future yearly dividends that are now higher than 3,000 Swiss francs per year, and the dividends to be received in August. They are already detached, so I'm really looking forward to the 8th and the 18th of August. And finally, on the last slide, I'm going to give the overview of the performance of our portfolio in July. So, as always, I start with the dividend that we received from our income ETF, the covered call ETF from Global X, covering the S&P 500. And that one gave us 0.142691 US dollar per share. And on that time, we still had 125 shares of XYLF. So it was on the 3rd of July that we still had 125. On the 25th, I bought extra. More about that in a few minutes. And we received in total $17.84 from XYLF on the 11th of July. And that money is being piled up in our Swissquote account, and it's going to go to buying EMHD, our emerging market ETF that my wife and I have our eye on and have already a few shares of. And then the surprise of the month, I totally forgot about the fact that VHYL detached its dividend on the 19th of June and didn't pay out its dividend before the end of June. So it wasn't included in the previous video. And then on the 2nd of July, I received a mail from Swissquote saying you have a document in your account. And I was like, man, why is that? I went to my Swissquote account and I saw that I received, or we received, my wife and I, we received 87.52 US dollar from VHYL, from our 99 shares. So really nice dividend that is being paid out in June, July by VHYL. So 0.884055 US dollar per share. And then finally, the biggest dividend that we are going to receive this year, and that's 808.62 euros from SDGPEX, because of course it makes up more than 60% of our ETF portfolio. We have 1,406 shares, So with a dividend per share of 0.575119 euros per share, it's of course the biggest amount that we can expect this year. It's unfortunately not the biggest amount that we received from SDGPEX. In the past we received a higher amount once, but I can't complain. It's also a bit lower this amount than previous year in the same quarter, but we need to wait and see what the next quarters bring for SDGPX and see whether or not the total dividend for the year went up, yes or no. And the 808.62 euros that we received from SDGPX, I immediately put it to work together with the other 40 euros that we still had on our account. I put it immediately to work, and I bought on the 15th of July, I bought 26 pieces of FLXD for our ETF portfolio, and our total cost was 838.64 euros or 829.40 euros without the costs. And at the 25th, after I transferred the 900 Swiss francs that we always do every month, we bought with that money, we bought 75 pieces of XYLF, and at a price of 11.856 Swiss francs, so that's really low. That I did was in January of 2024, I bought it at 12.75. In July of 2024, I bought it at $13.19. And earlier this year, on the 25th of February, I bought it at $14.32. So it came down a lot in the past few months. And I'm really happy that I bought it because in the previous week it went up quite a bit. So I'm really happy about that. And I'm also happy that I could buy 75 pieces at such a great price for this ETF. There are a lot of people complaining that the NAV went down, but okay, the S&P also had a rough period in April, and then XYLF lost a lot of value, and now of course it needs to recuperate that, but it's not that easy with the cover call ETF. It pays out a lot of dividend every month. So it's an income ETF, and that's something that you need to keep in the back of your head. It's not a normal ETF, it is an income ETF. And that's why for us it's going to be limited to 7% of our ETF portfolio. I'm not going to go above it or 5%. I should definitely check that out, of course. So what is the distribution that I want for the XYLF? It's 7%. So we are not going to go above 7% for XYLF. It's just a satellite. The SDGPX, the GLDV, VHYL, LDG, and FLXD, they are more the core, especially than the world ETFs, making up 70% of our ETF portfolio. That's the core. And then the satellites, you have EMHD, XYLF, FLXD, and LDG. So just so you know, that's the most important. Those are the most important things. XYLF, income ETF. Don't make it 90% of your portfolio. But it's not financial advice, it's just my personal opinion, of course. And this gives the new overview of our ETF portfolio worth like this. So with 26 pieces of FLXD added and XYLF added to our portfolio, of course, this made that even though XYLF went down in July compared to the end of June in price, that the overall worth that we had in XYLF and FLXD went up quite significantly compared to last month. And all the other ETFs they performed exceptionally well. EMHD even went up almost 80 cents per share. So that's one of the best performances that it had in the past few months. So we are really happy about that. Of course, in the future when we want to buy it, then it's a bit more expensive to buy a share, but that's something to worry about later, and that we don't really care about because we invest for the long term. And in the long term, in about 30 years, this price will be a bargain compared to what it is going to be in the future. So we don't have to worry about that. So if you look at the value, the previous update, it was 64,869.57 Swiss francs on the 27th of June. So we bought FLXD and XYLF, and now the new worth is 67,220.24 Swiss francs. So that's a plus of 2,350.67 Swiss francs. But we invested with without the costs 1,660.70 Swiss francs. So this means that we have a plus of only, I'm saying only, but I'm really happy with a plus of more than 1%. So 689.97 Swiss francs. We are in the plus for July. And we still received the 3 dividends that I mentioned earlier. So, and another important thing is the previous maximum was reached in March, and that was 63,477.55 Swiss francs. Since then, we almost invested 5,000 Swiss francs, and we also received about 1,200 Swiss francs in dividends that we reinvested. So, if you calculate 63,477.55 plus this amount minus this amount, you come to a new amount of the previous top of 67,209.57. So we are now officially more or less 10 Swiss francs above our previous top that we had for our ETF portfolio. But of course, things are moving up fast or down fast because Trump, he keeps putting out numbers for tariffs for those countries, then for other countries, now even for Switzerland, for the medicine companies, Novartis and Roche. Is really fun period right now because then suddenly the previous agreement that they made when they had discussions, he says, "Oh no, I'm not going to keep my promise about that. I'm still in my head with 41 billion in trading deficit, although there is a transfer of 20 billion in gold that goes from Switzerland to the US that Switzerland isn't producing and isn't and gaining anything on because it's from the UK to Switzerland and then it's remade in other bars and moving to the US. And then you also have the, how do you say it, the services that are provided by American companies here in Switzerland. They are worth about 17 billion of worth, and they are not taken into account by the Trump government. So when you calculate those numbers from the numbers that he says, 41 billion, you only have a trading deficit of 4 billion. But yeah, he doesn't care. And then he throws around 39% and 150 up to 250% on medicines in tariffs. So yeah, it's incredible. It moves up and down quite fast. Now the ETF for my children is down quite a lot, but all the rest in the world is going up. So if I look at our portfolio worth right now on the 6th of August when I'm recording this, it's up more or less 400 Swiss francs compared to what it was worth on the 25th of July. Even though the dividends that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes are already detached that I'm going to receive in August for our ETF portfolio. So actually it isn't going terrible right now on the stock markets. Even though there is chaos, it's still moving up and it's really crazy. That frightens me a bit, but on the other side, we go with the flow. It's time in the market beats timing the market, and I'm in it for the long term. My wife is in it for the long term as well. And as said with XYLF or EMHD, when you look at the prices right now, they will be peanuts compared to the prices that you will need to pay in about 20, 25, 30 years time. So nothing to worry about. The long term is the focus. The short term is just the normal fluctuations of things happening. And I said we received 3 dividends as well. So if you look at the dividends, XYLF gave us 14.21 Swiss francs, VHYL 69.17 Swiss francs, SDGPEX gave us 752.17 Swiss francs. But as I said, I use the euros immediately to be reinvested in FLXD so that I don't need to convert Swiss francs to euros. And the same goes for XYLF and VHYL. I keep those dividends in our account so that I can invest those dividends into EMHD. And for EMHD, I need dollars to buy it on the stock market here in Switzerland. So it's just for calculation purposes that I give these amounts here. So in total, we are up 1,525.52 Swiss francs this month, which means that we are up 2.35%. And that in just 1 month, that is incredible. Here in Switzerland, you receive 0% on your amount that is on your savings account. So then receiving 2.35% in just 1 month on the money that you invested, that's just crazy. The total dollar amount on the Swiss quote account is now $304.49. So we are really getting close to an amount that is close to $500. And then we have a total euro amount on our Swiss quote account that is 10.67 euros because I invested just a tad more than the dividend. So the dividend was 808.62 and I invested 838.64 euros into FLXD. The predicted future dividends, you can see here the conversion rates. So the currencies, they all became cheaper compared to the Swiss francs. So that's annoying for our ETF portfolio, but I believe in the future it's going to go the other way, only slightly, and then maybe stay finally a bit stable. But the Swiss franc is just so strong, it's unbelievable. So all the conversion rates went down this month. And here you can see SDGPEX, they had a lower amount this quarter being paid out. So it's in the red, the 12-month trading, the 12-month moving average of the dividends being paid out. But for VHYL it went up, and for XYLF it went up as well. And so in total, because we added 26 pieces of FLXD and 75 pieces of XYLF, the total amount of dividends being received from FLXD and XYLF compensated all the losses that we incurred by the conversion ratios. So in total, we went up to a yearly dividend total of 3,077.75 Swiss francs, which means that we get monthly on average 256.48 Swiss francs. So here we are at 3,000 Swiss francs per year. We want to move to 3,000, 4,000 or 5,000 Swiss francs per month in dividends. So we are long from our final goal, but seeing this number getting above 3,000, that's just really nice. And the dividends for August that we can expect, as always, we have XYLF. It went already ex-coupon on the 31st of July. The record date was the 1st of August, and the payable date is going to be on Friday the 8th, and the amount is going to be $0.11537. So again, 1 cent higher than the previous year dividend for the same month. So once again, when in the next video update about our ETF portfolio, you will see that the number of the total dividend amount being paid out by XWLF is going to be in the green. And then we have GLDV. It went already ex dividend on the 4th, so on Monday. The record date was yesterday on the 5th, and the payable date is going to be the 18th. So we always have to wait more or less two weeks for the dividend to be paid out by the spider company. But once again, the amount $0.5216 compared to $0.4405 in the same quarter last year. So there the trailing 12 months average of our dividend being paid out is going to be in the green next month in the overview. And then we can go to the final slide of our video here. And so we invested 1,678.49 Swiss francs with costs, of which 898.40 Swiss francs was new money. So only not invested 1.60 Swiss francs of the 900 francs that we normally deposit on our Swiss quote account, and the rest was reinvested dividends. We also deposited 200 Swiss francs for our U portfolio. I'm going to make that video on Friday, I believe. I also have all the data there, but I still need to work on the PowerPoint presentation there to be able to make the video. The future yearly dividends now are 3,077.75 Swiss francs per year. That is 123.10 Swiss francs higher than the previous month, and that's mainly due to the fact that we invested 75. We bought 75 pieces of XYLF more, and XYLF is an income ETF, so that's why our income really rose much more than in the other months where I don't invest in XYLF. So now we have 256.48 Swiss francs per month on average, and the next goal is 300 Swiss francs per month. So we are far from that, but yeah, I'm going to celebrate 275 Swiss francs per month as well. But 300 Swiss francs, that is really the ultimate thing, because we started with investing 300 Swiss francs per month into SDGPEX way back in the time, in 2016. So in the past month, our portfolio went up 2.35%, so 1,525.52 Swiss francs, and we are back slightly above the previous all-time high that we reached in March. Our total portfolio worth is now 67,220.24 Swiss francs, and our dividend yield is 4.58%. Yield on cost is 4.74%, and without the dividends being counted as a cost, the yield on our own invested money is already 5.45%. So that's really nice, and I hope that this number keeps being above 4% for, yeah, adhering to our 300 rule. But that's not the main goal. The main goal is that in about 25 years time, when we retire, that we have about 3,000, maybe 4,000 Swiss francs per month on average that we receive from our ETF portfolio. And with that being said, thank you for watching to this update. Please consider subscribing, hitting that subscribe button to my YouTube channel, and hitting that like button helps out the channel enormously as well. And thank you for watching to this one, and see you on the next one on my YouTube channel. Bye.